Good morning, everybody. Happy morning, Tuesday morning to be exact. How are you? Good to see you. I'm seeing a lot of people hanging out in different parts of the world in chat. We've got people from Germany. Hello, hello. Someone from the Jersey Shore said it's a beautiful sunny day. Awesome. Chad, it's a nice sunny day in Seattle. Very cool. Italy, Toronto, New York, and Germany. Awesome. Yeah, I totally agree. Angie says, so hot and sunny in the UK. Yay. I agree. It's nice in San Francisco as well. We're all blessed with nice weather today. That's awesome. Danish says, let's go. Let's go, Danish. Kari says, Kathleen, your challenges have been so informative. Thank you. Let's keep that train a-rolling. And specifically with that, I'm Kathleen. I'm going to be your host for the rest of the week for these daily creative challenges for Photoshop. And we are in our second week. So this challenge runs from, let me get my computer showing. Boom. And this gone. Double boom. So this challenge is running until this Friday. You can see the dates up here. And this is an awesome way to build your Photoshop know-how. It's beginner friendly. So everything I'm going to do, you can do too, no matter your skill level, but you can also take it to the next level if you are more skilled or advanced. Steve says, still lovely and warm in New Zealand, even so early in the morning. Nice. Susanna says, I'm afraid I've never been a fan of the paint tool or the pen tool. That's okay, Susanna. Hopefully I'll show you some things that make it a little bit easier today. And actually, if I refresh this, we should be able to see, yep, there's our challenge, the pen tool. So we're going to use the pen tool, we're going to use the curvature tool, and I'm also going to show you how you can do the same workflow with Photoshop on the iPad. We have something exciting releasing today. There's a new bundle for iPad. You can download Photoshop on the iPad and Fresco together. So I hope all of you enjoyed that. I think Paul and Val are going to talk about that more next in the next stream. Here is the schedule actually. So Val and Paul are going to be doing some Fresco and Photoshop on the iPad goodness, and they'll be talking more about that new bundle that was just dropped today, I'm pretty sure. So if you have an iPad and you want to work digitally, stick around. And if you've never used Photoshop on the iPad, let me show you a little bit about it. But first, we're going to use Photoshop on the desktop to be introduced to the pen tool, and then I'll hop to the iPad right before the stream ends. And hopefully there are no technical difficulties. Dick says, hello, regards from Spain. Hello, hello. Can we use a tablet pen? On the iPad, I believe Apple Pencil works well. And then I think there's different Bluetooth styli that are compatible with it, but I'm not sure exactly which ones they are. Okay, so another huge part of these challenges is the Discord community. Raise your hand in chat if you're in Discord. I'm there. And if you're not, let me show you how to join. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a giant creative community that's open 24/7. So you can come over here and post your work from the current challenges and get feedback. So we got Sam in here helping people out. We've got people posting their before and afters from yesterday's challenge. That was the photo editing with Camera Raw. Ooh, cool, Mustafa. And someone was in chat earlier saying that all of the submissions in Discord are looking amazing. So that's super cool. If you do want to join us on Discord, here is the link. If you would like to, bit.ly/psdiscord, capital P, capital S. And even after this challenge is open on Friday, it'll be open. And not to worry, another challenge will just start the next Monday. Have you guys gotten that drift yet? That there's a challenge every workday? They go for 2 weeks and then another one starts. And there's also an XD challenge going on and an Illustrator challenge. There's a lot to be learned. So again, here is that schedule for today. We've got Julia Masalska coming up after Paul and Val doing her XD Daily Creative Challenge. And then we've got more XD goodness at noon, followed by Jesse's XD Daily Creative Challenge. And then I'm going to be back at 2:30 for Sketch Party. Who was here yesterday for Sketch Party? I was on Adobe Fresco. So going back to that bundle I was talking about earlier, you can get Fresco and Photoshop on the iPad in one sweet bundle of joy. William is checking in from Louisiana. Good to see ya. You're not going to be able to come at midnight for the sketch party. That's okay, Navy. I understand. All right, so let's talk about the pen tool a little bit in Photoshop, shall we? So the challenge for today is to select some of these buildings. I've provided some starter files for you in the landing page, but here's the catch. This is Columbus, Ohio, the skyline, so that's my hometown. So I would recommend that you find a photo of your hometown. Maybe you have some in your camera roll on your phone, or you could find some on the internet. I found this on Adobe Stock, and I haven't had a chance to license it yet, so there is the watermark, but that's okay, we can license it later. We can work on the preview for now. So if you want to work on the Columbus skyline, you can, but seriously, you should grab a skyline that is maybe of your hometown. You love the sketch party? Cool, Justin. Great. All right, so we're going to select some of these buildings, and I've already masked out the background. I can enable this so you can see, and I just did that by using the quick selection tool. I think we've talked about that in previous days. Over here in the left toolbar, quick selection, you can quickly select similar pixels, and then I used a layer mask to remove the background. You love Columbus, you've been there many times, woohoo! It's a good place. All right, and then I'm going to show you how to select some of these buildings and add these cool gradient pieces to them. Now notice how on this bridge, it's so smooth and perfectly curved. I didn't do that by hand, I used the pen tool. Let me show you how it works. So I'm going to turn these off for now and we can just reselect. Let's zoom in, and I'll use the pen tool on this building right here. So if you're not familiar with the pen tool, it's really a favorite tool for Illustrator users, which is a vector program. So the pen tool works by dropping points. I'm just going to click, it'll drop a point, click, click, and it makes a very precise selection for you. Now this is all well and good, and you could do something similar with the polygonal lasso tool, but one cool thing about the pen tool is that the selection that you make, you can convert to a smart shape, to a path, but for now we're just going to make a selection. So up here in the control bar we can click selection, it'll give you some options. We want a new selection, and there we go. So we have our building selected. Now the way that I added these cool gradients to the shapes is I just come down here to the adjustment layers, this little half circle icon. We're going to do gradient up here at the top, and that's only going to apply a gradient to our selection since we already have something selected. What's up, Ralph? Good to see ya. And then over here in gradient fill, we can choose what kind of colors we want. So I've been digging this kind of pink feel. We can edit our gradient by just clicking on the preview of it. So I want the pink to be at the bottom and the white to be at the top. We'll click OK. And then if I come here to my layers panel and change the blend mode, we could change it to multiply or play with different ones. So let's do multiply. So now it's pink at the bottom and fading to the normal colors at the top. Okay, so that's the pen tool being used in a very kind of angular way. Like I said, you could use the polygonal lasso tool for the same thing, but let me show you what the pen tool is really good for, and that is making complex selections that are both curved and angular. So let's jump back to the pen tool. I'm going to select this bridge, so drop in points. Now I don't want a straight line here, I want a curve, so I'm going to click and hold and drag out a handle. And this way we can get a perfect curve that matches that bridge. Now if I were to click another point, it would then make another curve because of this handle, so I'm going to do Command Z to go back. And I'm going to Option or Alt click on this final point to end it. So now we can drop another point without that curve. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Drop another point here, whoop, and match it up. So in general, the less points you use, the more smooth your selection is going to be. If I dropped a point every, I don't know, couple pixels, my selection would be very regimented and strange. So just keep that in mind, try to use as few points as possible. Okay, there we go. We have our selection. We can make our selection here. But we need to deselect these areas in the center. So let's use our pen tool again. Make sure selection, whoops, is chosen. Guess it's not going to work. Okay, that's fine. And let's select these inside areas. It won't deselect our previous selection. Just using my same workflow, dragging these curves, dragging this curve, dragging this one just a little bit, and connecting it. And when I click selection up here, we're going to make sure that it says intersect with selection. So it's going to knock out that selection from our previously made one. Maybe not. Subtract. That didn't work. It worked when I was practicing it earlier, but you get the drift. So let us, there we go, add our gradient to this. Sometimes that happens. Whoops. Oh, it's because it's inversed. Didn't realize it was. There we go. Let's go back to our pen tool. And I'm just going to really quickly do that again. Should be quick. And the pen tool is kind of all about practice, so I recommend grabbing an image that has a lot of kind of curves and straight lines and curved lines together. There we go. Whoops. And just going for it, trying to outline the shapes. Navy says pen tool is cool. I agree. All right, selection. Let's do intersect with selection. There we go. That's what we wanted. And I will do it over here. The nice thing that happens when you become more comfortable with Photoshop is when things go wrong, you can troubleshoot for yourself. So we figured out that that selection was actually inversed, so we re-inversed it, versed it, and it was fixed. All right, in selection, we're going to go intersect with selection. Nice. And from here, we can go to our adjustment layers, click gradient, choose what we want. Let's do red, magenta actually. We'll keep with the same theme. And let's drag the pink to the left and the white to the right so that the pink is on bottom. I could also change the angle of the gradient this way. Click OK and change our blend mode to multiply. Cool, so I could apply this to every single shape in this image. I already worked on a few other ones. And I already added a gradient color in the background. So if I had more time, I would definitely want to do this to all of the different buildings and kind of have this rainbow city going on. It would also be cool if things in the foreground, like this bridge, were warmer, like red and orange, and then as you got further back, it got cooler. That would be interesting. Why did you intersect the selection instead of adding? If I add to it, it wouldn't do anything because I was working within an area that was already selected. So I wanted to subtract. I wanted to punch out from the selection that I already made. It's like if I cut out a shape in paper and I was holding it up, and then I cut out another shape in the center of the paper. Yeah, John, there's live streams all day. Let me show you the schedule. One mo again. Ta-da! We even probably have more happening afterwards because people stream to their personal Behances now too. So you can always find somebody live, and you can always come to Discord too. Okay. So say, for example, I wanted to add our play at home text, but I wanted to push the play at home behind some of the buildings with a layer mask. But for some reason, I have to leave. I have to go into my backyard or do something away from my computer and take my iPad with me. So I'm going to show you how to do that on the iPad. We are going to quickly save this. And when you save it, make sure that you save it as a cloud document. And I'm going to hook up my iPad, unplug this really quick, and show you how to do it. Ta-da! Beautiful iPad. I've got Photoshop opened up on here. If you have a CC subscription, Photoshop is included on the iPad, but you can also buy it separately and use it, I think, for free, but without all the features. But like I said earlier, there's a new bundle with Fresco and Photoshop on the iPad together. So if you just want to work on the iPad and you don't have a CC subscription, it's perfect for that. Ta-da! Oh no, you tried to delete a mask and you deleted your file. Oh no! All right, let's see if this works. Perfect. Live streaming magic. All right, I'm on my iPad now. And as you can see right here in the top right corner, I have my day 6 iPad live file from 9:14 a.m., so a minute ago. Let's get that opened up. And since it is coming down from the cloud, it takes a second to open. You gotta make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi. And there we go, we are in Photoshop, but on the iPad. Over here in the layers panel, we can see all of our layers are still here. We can view them like they would look in Fresco, but I like to keep it like Photoshop, the same interface. Navy says my iPad got damaged before it was released. Oh no, shoot. That is frustrating. And so there are some tools that are not available on the iPad, but there are new tools released every month. So for example, the gradient fill layers, we can't make those on the iPad, but we can still see them on the iPad, turn them on and off. And we know that they will still work if we then go back to Photoshop on the desktop. You love to see what instructors are working on? What was I working on? My live stream schedules. Here's my sketch party in the top right of the screen. This top right image is maybe a little sneak peek for something in the future. Who knows? All right, let's mask this text. So we have our play at home layer. Making a layer mask is super duper easy. All you're gonna do is tap the layer mask icon in the middle of the right toolbar. So now you can see I have a layer mask. I don't even have to use an Apple Pencil. I could use my finger and I could mask this away. So I can just scribble on it so you can see how it works. I'm literally using my finger right now. If I want to switch to white, I just switch between those two. So for example, I mask away too much. We're gonna swipe back to white, bring that back in. We can change our brush hardness or flow. So let's make the brush a little bit harder, a little bit smaller, and we'll clean this up just a little bit. And switch this back to black and hide it. So I still need to license this original image so that the watermark is not there. But after I do that, I think I'll continue adding more gradients. And I kind of like how it was fading back a little bit. So if I increase my brush a little bit and just lightly go over it, looks like it's shadowed a bit. And then we'll also hide this little guy too. Okay, there you go. We have our semi-finished, it's not totally finished, I want to add more gradients to here, but we won't have time for it today. But if I close this and then go back to my computer, let's see if it appears. We have another round with Kathleen. Yeah, 2:30, come back for it. Just realized I never turned on the music. Sorry, everybody. You've just been listening to me scribble around on my iPad. Plug this back in. The first time you used the spot healing tool, it turned out weird because I used it on a person's eye. Ooh, did you take their eye away? Eye away? Sounds like a state. All right, so now, let me make sure this is closed. Switch on over, and there you go. See, we have our preview with the masked shape. Oh, there we go. Must be because I still had it open on here, but it is still there. I just need to resave it on my iPad. Let me do that. The cloud is confused. There we go. Ohio away. Let's try that again. There we go. It is masked. That's the work we did on the iPad, and I'm going to continue playing with this. But for now, I will show you how to export it if you would like to know. So say I was done, or if I wanted to get feedback on Discord, I can go to File, Export. I could do, a quick export as PNG. That would have a lower resolution. Or if I click Export As, I could come here. So let's make it a little bit smaller so it doesn't overwhelm Discord. McCormick wants to know a best place to inquire about masking. You could ask here, totally, or you could ask on Discord. I will show you Discord in just a moment. If you ask on Discord, someone might be able to give you a little bit more time in their response. So we will say unfinished. Day 6. Save that. Can you have the music list? We're listening to Andrew Applepie, I believe. I could be wrong though. We have a whole library of royalty-free chill hop. All right, back to Discord and current challenge. I'm gonna upload my work in progress and see what people think. So again, Paul and Val are gonna be up next after me doing Fresco and Photoshop on the iPad. Goodness, it's gonna be sweet. Can't wait to watch. Not finished yet. I plan to add gradients to, multiple gradients to the entire scene and maybe change the color palette. Can't wait to see what y'all make. Obligatory smiley face. There you go. So if you are on Discord, you should be able to see my message, and for my final, I'll definitely have that watermark added there. More gradients, more color, always. And if you want to learn more about the daily creative challenges, you can come up here to Creative Challenge, check out what the daily challenges are, even get the starter files if you want. Thank you, Sam, for posting those. And then for the McCormick, I believe, who was asking about masks, you could come here and go to Ask a Question and ask it here. So PMAC was answering a question about yesterday's stream. Someone was asking about After Effects. You could ask all kinds of things over here. So come join us. Angie says, great stream. Can't wait to have a go at this one. Nice. Yeah, I can't wait to see all of your hometowns in different gradients. That'll be sweet. Maybe we could have a collage all at the end of all of our different hometowns in different colors. The chill hop raccoon. Not today. All right, so let me pop open that schedule one more time so you all know what's going on today. We had Shauna Lynn doing some illustration. That was awesome with Google Maps. So thank you, Shauna, for that. We're ending up our daily creative challenge right now. After me, Val and Paul are going to be back doing some mobile workflows. And then Julia will be here for the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. So if you want to learn some simple Illustrator branding techniques and workflows, come back for that. We've got more XD coming up in the afternoon block from 12 to 2:30 with Jesse and Elise. And then I'll be back at 2:30 for some sketching and some chill times. It's going to be great. And thanks everybody for being patient with my round tripping, going from desktop to iPad, back to desktop. Super easy. It's awesome. I will see you at 2:30. And chat, do you have any guesses for what the challenge is going to be for tomorrow? We're getting near the end, so things could get a little bit wild. I am going to say we haven't done some specific workflows that I usually like to do in these daily creative challenges. Maybe tomorrow we'll have to do with some texture, some masking, some animals. I don't know. Eric says, I'm not used to all of this Adobe Live, but I love it. Yay, we're glad. That's the goal, right? Oh, thanks everyone for joining. Really appreciate it. I see lots of thank yous in the chat. Thank you for being here. So for now, I'm gonna pop it over to Val and Paul. They'll be up in about 5 minutes, and I'll see you later this afternoon. Bye, everybody.